My name's Ariane Telgen, and I've been working with problem horses for over 20 years, of all kinds. And another focus of mine is training for both horse and rider. I support competitive riders up to the advanced level, but also leisure riders in maintaining health and composure. With my years of experience as a certified equine physiotherapist and osteopath, I'm in the ideal position to identify and solve problems on various levels. To make this possible, even over long distances, I offer online consultations as well as online coaching. This is a successful alternative to a personal visit here at the farm, or even to having your horse stay here for training. Yes, we have another visitor. This is the fine Franz. He's in the stall right now after the long trailer ride, so he can have a drink. Yeah, and I'm actually going to take this opportunity to ask why you're actually here with him.
Well, we've had Franz for 2 years now, and he's actually developed well. He's made real progress in his work. He came to us and was very stiff in the hand. We did a lot of groundwork with him first to get to know him. Then we really made sure to ride him forward properly so that he just gives a little in the hand, goes a bit forward and down, so he's not ridden so rigidly upwards, but can just push loosely from back to front. That worked out well too. Because he was very skittish at the beginning, we did a bit, or rather quite a lot of desensitization training with him, using a gym ball with cans and a tarp and fluttering tape, and whatever else there is. That really has improved. Now, for about 8 weeks, yeah, roughly, he's really starting to buck, starting to kick out behind, to rear up when it just gets too much for him. Too much spur pressure, he's getting stiff in the back again. He's become totally sluggish, so you feel like you can't even get through with the spur anymore, and you're just kind of hanging in there. He doesn't really want to go forward. It's just a shame. And because we were actually on a good path, we actually already had a different result.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why we said we'd like to nip it in the bud right away and seek help.
And do you otherwise have lessons or someone who helps you? Or do you do everything all by yourself?
Exactly. No, 2 of us ride him, and we definitely do riding lessons twice a week at our riding arena. That's always worked well up until now.
And was there perhaps some reason that, let's say, would suggest why there's such a change? Different feed, another horse nearby, different management, a different saddle, whatever.
Well, we don't know right now. We had the dentist come out again because we thought maybe something with the bit, because he wasn't chewing as much as usual. He used to foam well while riding and really used the bit and chewed. That's become a bit less now. So we said we'd have the teeth checked again, have the osteopath come out again. Maybe something really is pinched in his back or whatever, before we now really want to ride through it, and it's something that's hurting him. That's not the point either.
Now, when you ride him for me in a moment, is it gonna be dangerous? Does he really rear straight up into the air, or does he really buck wildly and want to get her?
Oh, well, you can, of course, just ride through it.
Yeah?
But the question is whether that's the right way to go.
Let's get him out first. I'll start by checking, let's say, a few basic details. These pressure marks here, do you know if they're from the blanket slipping back, or if they're from the saddle, or?
Yeah. Okay, we had one that didn't fit right.
Yeah, I always use those high neck blankets for that. They don't have that problem at all.
Yeah.
That's it. Good boy. What are you doing? Hey, that's nice. Good boy. Is there a particular rein, or maybe a specific moment, where he tends to show this kind of resistance even more?
He has it very extremely. He always goes against the left leg. So he breaks out over the left leg, and he doesn't accept the leg on that side at all.
Okay. Good boy. That's it. And, how is he kept? Is he out on pasture? Is he in a stall?
He's in a stall, but they go out to the meadow all day.
Yeah, I know. I think you like that. It's great. Yeah, right. Look. What I notice roughly is that he has a lot of color loss. That means he is, I'd say, naturally he'd be more of a bay or dark bay, I would imagine. Or what does it say in his papers? There are actually these light flecked hairs everywhere in between and in the saddle area. Oh, much more. So he's not dark here anymore. I'd probably suspect first that he has a copper zinc deficiency. The coat often loses color like that then. That's usually in powder form. And then, if you really do that for 2, 3, 4 months, he'll turn dark like that everywhere. So this lightness is often a deficiency symptom.
Okay.
So, and if manganese or something like that is also missing, then it's also for the muscles, for loosening up.
Yeah.
And things like that. Then I think that would do him a lot of good.
Yeah.
Does he get oats?
Well, there's a small amount of oats in the concentrated feed.
So concentrated feed means he gets these pellets or nuggets or whatever you call them, right? Would there be a way to switch him over if that were the case? I mean, in terms of feed, so that he doesn't get these pellets anymore? The problem I see very often is simply that these pellets swell up in the stomach like a piece of toast that you put in water, let's put it that way. And then they become very hard to digest and clump up in there. So, and that's just one point. He doesn't seem thin right now. But compared to here, as you described yourself, he's round here, but nothing seems to stick here. And I can imagine if you stop the nuggets or the pellets now, for example, then he'll suddenly get very thin. And I personally, as you might have seen in videos, really do feed oats. A lot of people are a bit skeptical because they say, oh God, they'll get all wild. I haven't been able to find that to be true in 25 years.
I rather thought it goes to their head, and I definitely don't want that, because
that's it. Right now he's not getting oats, and he's not doing what he's supposed to either, in that sense.
Yeah.
And it's simply the case that a cecum has a capacity of over 120 liters.
Okay.
By the time it gets to the point where gas colic occurs, it is already expanded throughout the abdominal cavity.
Okay.
And then, of course, every movement is difficult because everything is being compressed.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be, but I would suspect it with. So oats are very, very important, based on my experience for the horses. A normal size, height of 165,
Yes.
needs 3 kilos of oats a day just to keep all the organs running, to keep them running properly. So, and has this also been low fat?
Yes.
Okay.
The saddle has also been adjusted once.
Okay.
Last year, it was padded a bit more at the back because it was tipping out of the center, out of the midpoint a bit.
Okay. Have you ever watched a video like that and felt it yourself?
Yes, actually.
Is that roughly the spot where you usually saddle up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. It's lying horizontally. What I'm doing now is I'm really palpating the last rib. That's the 18th. I'm palpating upwards. Oh, here, he's already tensed up. Because you should always make sure that when you have a saddle, you definitely sit with your center of gravity about 2 centimeters in front of it. Better is way at the front. There are saddles that really place you right here at the front. And then there are some that go further back. So that means it's very, 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 very tight. So further forward would be nicer. But what I'm finding with this saddle right now, I'll show that in a moment. So he's already very sensitive here. There, you can see right away, he goes right down. That's of course what causes spinal crowding, kissing spine, or other things. And what that can lead to is that he just blocks up. For example, if he just gets stressed here.
I would say that the right side is tear.
Where? Is the main pressure point of the saddle? Let's see where it gets really difficult. Now the hand is already starting to shake.
Yes. Here.
Go ahead and keep pulling all the way to the back. Does it get towards the back again? Now you're even pulling the saddle along, right?
Yeah, it's getting worse here.
And where do you sit?
Yes, right there.
Right then, right? Let's feel the other side.
It's not as bad here, I think.
It's not as bad, right? It's extreme on the right side. So, and if he resists the left leg now and pushes against it, he doesn't really want to bend to the right. He can't because it's so massive there. My hand actually starts to tremble just to get through it. It's lying horizontally, no question about it. But its main pressure point is back there. And you can already see it when I go through there. If I sit on it now, it goes down immediately. And it's actually supposed to come up, but it's pushing
directly against it.
Let's take a moment to see if both panels are actually evenly spaced from the spine on both sides, or if perhaps one of them is just a little bit closer.
I would say that the left is actually closer than the right.
If he's supposed to bend now in a circle or when starting to canter, they have to do that because the hip is very large, the pelvis, and it comes forward and needs space. That means if this pelvis comes forward in a left lead canter because the inner hind leg steps under more, the spine actually has to move out that way. Theoretically speaking, it has to. Make this movement. The main pressure point is back here, and then it pushes down there. The other way around, it's exactly the same. Now the question is, when you ride in a bit, do we want to try putting a different saddle on to maybe have a direct comparison? Or do you want to ride in this saddle first?
It actually makes sense to ride with a different saddle
To think.
what happens.
The nice thing is you can ride nicely under the tree. The shade, it's not so long.
That's really great, isn't it?
We use it quite often, even in the rain.
I also think your grounds here are so incredibly great, you know? It's just nice that you can ride straight out here and then also into the water and so on.
That's true. We can practice everything. Yeah.
Exactly. That's worth a lot.
Well, most horses, they're usually a bit wary of the wooden horse. Oh, that's why it's standing there in the corner. So, quite a few. Take a look. Yes, the wooden horse. Feel free to go around once, then I'll put a treat on it. It's all good. Yes, look at that. Come here, come. Come here, come. Come here, then we won't have a scene later, huh? Great, look at that. Yeah, take us. Very go. Great.
Perfectly shown. Wow. He's actually really good at standing still.
Good boy. Look here. Come here, come here, come here. Good. Come on.
No. Stay still. Come on. Just keep the reins long and relaxed. Keep them long. Keep them long. Keep them long. Nice and easy. Exactly. So he actually knows to stay standing until you're seated yourself.
But that's probably what he usually does when you apply more pressure or when he's supposed to do something.
Yeah, the beginnings of it.
I think that was in the description, right? The drama?
The beginnings of it. Yeah, exactly. Saying he starts rearing up is an exaggeration, more like starting to hop.
Yeah, okay. She can just come over to me in a moment. Let's see if we can manage the stirrups again. Good boy. Great. Look here. I can distract him for a bit. Yummy. Look. Would you rather have this one or this one? Do you want this one? See, with a little distraction, it works, right? There, this one.
Yeah, I usually start with a walk on a long rein, then I do lots of changes of hand and maybe a circle, some serpentines through the arena. So really a lot through the seat, and at first just with one hand on a long rein. Then maybe a bit of shoulder in, leg yielding, just so he loosens up a little. Then I usually start to trot, also on a long rein at first, like forward and down.
How is it in the walk when you pick up the reins? Does he already block there too? Or what are the typical things where he then says, I'm not doing that?
Lately, in the last few weeks, it was really when you started to trot for the first time that he didn't want to trot at all. Yeah, that he didn't really react to the leg the way we were actually used to.
Okay, but he does react to leg yielding and shoulder in?
It's been better. It's gotten worse now, too. And let me think. Left hand is also worse than right.
What's something where you'd say, man, I'd really like to tackle that now? I'd first want to know how? How do I do that?
Well, right now, he's moving forward quite diligently. But that's really changed. I mean, he's really dull to the spur, and dull to the leg.
Okay.
I just like to, I tend to do this quickly myself, especially lately, that I pull my heels up and use my knee too much. Then I basically want to drive him more with the spur because I feel like he's not really going forward on his own.
Okay.
I feel like when he's moving forward properly, he doesn't start bucking as easily. So he really needs to step under from behind so that he's actually working and can't just, amble along aimlessly.
And what makes you think that you're keeping your knee too close? To him?
Because of the osteopath who told me that. And she said, he's got these welts right here.
Yeah.
And she said that it's mostly because I always start to grip too tight with my legs.
How? I always keep my knee on him.
Yeah.
But I think there's a difference between pulling your knee up.
Yep.
Keep him there.
That's what I mean.
So what you can try now while warming up at a walk is just imagine you're sitting on the horse like this.
Yeah.
Do it. What's happening at the sow?
The knee is definitely even closer now.
I want you to maintain this position from now on.
Okay.
Feel it like this. Always keep your heels away from the horse. A horse is like a state-of-the-art locomotive. It doesn't run on the tracks, but rather it runs between the tracks. You have to imagine, in a way, that your knees and your thighs, are a track system.
Wow.
The lower leg has to remain flexible. If you press it against him all the time, then you're no longer flexible with your aids.
What?
Yeah, then you'd always have to move the lower leg away, use it as a guarding aid, move it away, use it as a lateral aid. And I always maintain this contact. And depending on how the horse is doing, whether it has a lot of movement, whether it has a lot of suspension, whether it's maybe being a bit stubborn and doesn't understand my aid, my contact, I have to make that contact stronger depending on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But also imagine that you have pieces of string attached to your heels. And I'm walking behind you and letting myself be pulled along. What does your lower leg do then? That's driving forward at the girth. Unfamiliar?
Totally.
I always say, feel it now at the bottom of your boot or the part that touches the horse. Do you feel his belly there?
Yeah.
You have to feel that all the time. If you put your leg back where it was before, do you still feel the belly?
Better like this.
It's better. That way he can feel you too. So, and I always keep my lower leg back there. I keep it right there. And when trotting, I keep it there too, because then it tends to want to slide forward. Or I pull my heel up because I think I can't reach, or the horse won't go forward. And you basically guide him between your thighs and your knee tension. And that's now perfect on the horse. And I just think if you don't ride 10 or 12 horses a day like professional trainers do, I don't think you can even apply enough pressure to really clamp down. I would never claim that I'm able to clamp my horse.
Yeah.
I think I'd sooner drop dead after one lap.
Probably, yeah.
Before you start trotting, just turn on your mental switch up there. Are my toes still like this? Is my knee a one? And try to start trotting without changing anything in your leg. No.
Without the spur.
Heels away from a horse. Exactly. So, it's okay. So loosen up once. Good. And transition down again. Think about the level of intensity you want to use. The pressure from the knee, the thigh, or the seat that he should feel.
Wow.
Don't do anything with your leg. Down there with the spar. And if he doesn't listen to that trot aid, to the tension you want to use in the future,
Yeah.
then give him a little nudge. Again, So praise him, praise him. Good, great. Transition down again. So that nudge wasn't firm enough just now. You could tell. You had to nudge him again.
Yeah.
So apply that tension again that you want to have in the future. The one he should react to. And then nudge him once so he never wants that to happen again. Bravo. Good. Great. Super. So, and if you feel into it now, we have a very, very nicely elongated, quiet seat. And if you now feel into your toes and into your feet, then see if they're still in that position. Exactly, but actually the working tempo was good like that. So, and again, keep those heels away from the horse. Heels away from the horse. Which muscles do you feel? What are you using?
The inner thighs.
Right.
Yeah.
So great. Very nice like that. And that's how I do it when continuing the trot. I don't drive at all. My horse should maintain this tempo on his own. And I only want to drive if I want to change something. If I want to do an extension or collection, my horses should keep the working tempo on their own. Yes, praise him, great. Praise him, praise him, praise him. Praise him immediately. Which leg is harder for you to keep in the correct position? Left or right? Left. Left is tricky now. Now you correct him. So, and if he ignores the outside leg now, I'll do the same thing there. I'll use it as a light guard and drive a bit more. If he doesn't react, give him a sharp correction on the outside until he drifts inward. Is your right leg against his belly?
Now again?
Yes, now again. Exactly. Great. Super. And when you transition down in a moment, try to make sure to keep your leg back at the belly so that he really steps under with his hindquarters. And always do a figure 8 here, so you have a volt-like shape around the tree. And a volta-like shape around me, so like an 8. Flexion, bend, running away. Just keep riding the 8, okay? A figure 8 the whole time. An 8 here. Exactly. An 8 here. Good, 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 good.
Yes, that's where it's real.
So feel free to do it again. And now I want you to let the outside rein, always the outside rein, hang loose the whole time.
Okay.
Always. So very loose on the outside. Very loose. Very loose. Is it hanging loose yet? That's right.
Oh, look at that.
That's nice. So, and now try to get him calmer through your seat by rising more slowly, for example. And when you sit down, relax for a moment and just say, oh, how nice it is on you. So you can go very slowly because this is very fast for such a small circle. Let it hang loose on the outside. And on the inside, you always tell them, come just a little bit this way, very carefully. The important thing is the inside rein is taken up. The outside one, you just throw that away. So, and take them on the inside. Fine. Steer them around, steer them around, steer them around. Exactly. So loose on the outside. Very loose on the outside. Very loose on the outside. So, and now the rein that's engaged, so the inside one now, basically, that you really take it in your hand and position your fist forward. And very, very gently massage the corner of his mouth, very calmly. That you keep the elbow, the angle, the whole time, so that it doesn't get long again, but that the angle stays there. The fist closes very slowly, and very slowly, it opens up again. And I want him to come over here. And now, make the circle a bit smaller, the volt. But not abruptly. Bring your hand back up again. The higher the hand, the lower his head goes. There, carefully. Shorten the reins again. Yes, and very carefully there. Super. Then change the rein again in a moment. And exactly the same on the other rein.
Keep going, keep going.
Relax on the outside and gently ease in on the inside. Very carefully. Yes, very nice.
Give him some praise. Look how good.
Great. Go ahead and cut him. There. You can leave your hand up there and just scratch with your fingers.
Super. Look how good.
There. How does it look now in terms of flexion and bending? Is it better?
Yes.
When the outside is slack?
Yes.
It looks much, much easier at least. Is he blocking?
Not as extreme anymore, just that he's, well, drifting off to the left, right?
Okay, fists are there. Outside is relaxed. And now really keep the small circle around me here. And drive him with your outside leg. Until he moves in here, keep nudging him on the outside until, praise him. Immediate feedback. And again, outside, 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 outside. So, and now I'm also boxing him in the outer waist with my fist. Really go for it. And so the punches don't get through. Really tighten your outer waist. Tighten it, the outer one. Okay, put your fist back. Where he breaks out, that's where the outer waist has to come into play. He's doing that very nicely. Good boy, aren't you? What I think is, he actually has incredibly powerful gaits.
Yeah, that's true.
Incredible amount of activity in the hindquarters.
Yes.
And I can imagine, I don't know how long he's been doing that, letting his tongue hang out to the right and stuff.
Olive.
I can just imagine now that he has a lot of momentum, which you can see. And he can't bring it out.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's not enough information coming, so not enough stability in the front. It's long sometimes, short sometimes, long sometimes, short sometimes. He's young, at 7 actually.
Yes.
And then they get insecure. And it actually hurts to some extent when you keep falling in and out. I see now, for example, that the bit also always comes out very far on one side, on the right.
Maybe you saw on Google. I had that full cheek snaffle for a while.
Yeah. It's not something people like to see, but it really is a helpful tool. Okay, right, so you don't pull the bit through and the horses have a limit there. And that helps a bit until that's established. It's just such an inconsistent connection. Then you have to do something really drastic, or he'll run right into the wall. If you were more focused, I think, and initiated everything beforehand, yeah, it might not be like that. But for me, it's important that you imagine you're riding a bicycle. The reins are the handlebars. Yeah. Now, if you're making a right turn, then the outside handlebar must also, move forward. As if it's supposed to sag again. Yeah. Go the other way, and the other hand moves forward. You'll see why in a moment. You're probably often here. Keep the outside rein, keep the outside rein, keep the outside rein. Yeah. That's coming too, but differently. And I see right now that when you let go completely on the outside, he lets himself be positioned smoothly. Focus a lot on your seat and really just concentrate on your hands so that they stay side by side. The reins don't get longer. They stay right there in front. That's where you steer from. Those are your joysticks up there. Nudge the outside when he comes along there. Nudge the outside. Super. Praise him. Great. Go ahead and scratch him. The outside rein is very soft on the outside, and it's easier to react beforehand. That means he's already drifting away, so I'll use my outside leg now. Noticed? As soon as the outside loosens up, he starts chewing. There. If the positioning is difficult, the outside hand is too tight. He's positioning himself, exactly, and he should do it immediately. Okay, the reins are too long. Now, try to guide him between your legs. Not so much with your hands, but use your legs to drive him forward to where you want to go. See, now you have to shorten them again, right? Really take both reins in your hand and position them forward. Right, and they stay right there. Super. He doesn't need that. And then ride straight for a horse's length, giving him the chance to change his position. Very well done. Now you've got it.
Yeah.
Okay, don't let the reins slip through. That means you also have to shift your weight. Now, concentrate on shifting your weight to the other hand so that you reposition him first before heading in the new direction. Much better. So drive forward when changing the bend. Great. So, and now feel for a moment what you're doing on this hand. What you're not doing, on the other hand, pay close attention to your right leg so that it doesn't keep going up, but that you keep it steady. Stay on the outside, yes. So, and when he's there, then you make a change again. So, and that's how he should go, immediately when you change him. Great, keep your fists forward, very nice. Try to ride this straight line a bit more purposefully. Change him over, thinking shoulder in, and then turn away. Exactly, great. So, and again in a moment, when you come to the straight, keep him with you. Put him very slightly in shoulder in to the left. Very slightly. Think of shoulder in. And only then turn away. So, do you notice now what I mean with the reins? That is very, very difficult. Then for a young horse to constantly get the tension there and get the aid in order to really run consistently. You have to help him a bit with that now so that you really maintain the rein length and don't always have to readjust, but that you say once, okay, I'm closing my fists now and nothing slips through anymore. Twice I hold the reins tight there, but still I give a little on the outside. Yes, concentrate. Don't let anything slip through. Don't let anything slip through. The inside slip through. Yes, super. Don't let anything slip through. Sit over lightly. So, well, I don't think he does something like that because he has any physical deficits.
Yes, okay.
There will be something there because horses often stick their tongue out to cushion something that is, for example, sharp. Yes. Right? You just have to take a look. So, and I just think that he doesn't get enough security through the handling in front.
Yes.
And what I noticed is, actually, that your right leg is significantly more restless. The left leg is completely stretched and very quiet.
Yes.
And the right leg, it always flies into the external rotation, so to speak, so that the knee slips away over the knee roll at the top.
Yes.
And I can imagine that the tension in your seat is then lost. And that's why he also drifts outwards. So, and that's why the change of hand to the left is also very difficult for him.
Yes.
Because you can't limit him on the right then, and on the left, he doesn't go out. So, and I believe that you can do a lot of that just with your seat. Luckily, there are two of you. How was it during lessons? Do they focus much on the seat or do you mostly do exercises?
It's not really about exercises. It's not your typical dressage lesson where everyone rides in a line and you just go through those textbook exercises.
Yeah.
Instead, they really look at each horse and each rider individually. But as for someone telling me, move your lower leg further back and turn your toes further in, that's just not constant, I have to keep reminding myself of it.
That's obviously very difficult because you've developed a habit now.
Yeah.
Especially with the spur. It's really annoying because the horses also tempt you to pull your heel up like that. I know that myself when I'm riding horses that need a lot of lead. That's why the first thing I do is turn on the engine and sensitize them to the leg.
The problem is, you don't always think about it yourself.
Exactly.
Well,
They know that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? For instance, and this is just an example, my horse wouldn't be allowed to walk like that right now.
Yeah.
Because if you let it slide once, like right now,
Yeah.
it's already all over again.
Yeah.
So, and that's exactly the rideability issue you're describing to me.
Mm-hmm.
He won't let himself be driven. When I use more leg, he says, ugh, I'm not doing it. So he drifts outwards. The leg comes in slightly, or maybe even the spur, and he says, ugh, I'm not doing it. I'm going to keep going this way anyway. So it's my job to say, you're not going any further here. So, and then it gets better really quickly.
Okay.
But if you try, you fall back into it and start fiddling around, and they're gone again just as fast. It's a matter of discipline, ultimately.
That's exactly what my problem is too. I have the exact same thing.
Okay, that's why I'm asking if anyone pays attention to that, because really, if you were told that all the time, I can only recommend, if he lunges well, it's not beginner training to do seat work on the lunge without reins. That is really, really hard. Really hard. I mean, I'm at M&S level myself, but lunging walk, trot, canter without reins, that's a real challenge.
Is it?
If there are two of you and no one else is around, and you're not embarrassed or anything, or something like that,
It doesn't matter at all.
go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, we can do that.
Take each other on the lunge line and do
Okay.
toes in, heels out, toes in, because then you're not focused on steering, keeping him in the plate, and everything else possible, because the person on the ground can do that. And then you have a chance to really break that habit, because it's very difficult when he starts figuring his way out of it.
Yeah,
And somehow trying to correct himself from that poor seat position.
yeah.
And I would just say, right here, right leg. I would always say, push your thigh back and keep it there. Then you have the position that you want. Because the right leg does this. So, and then they sit crooked, pushing the horse out. And he does that too. He's very teachable.
Yeah, yeah.
He actually does what he's supposed to do when that seat
Happens.
Unless, if he ducks out like that, you'd have to do the whole thing the other way around. Then he would come back to the center again. Yeah. So he actually reacts well. So, and through this uncertainty, when it's so tight, but still being driven, he says, what am I supposed to do now? I'm not doing this anymore. Because that was really hardcore for him just now. With that strong positioning,
Yeah,
and he didn't do anything.
yeah.
Didn't stop.
Yeah, but he also showed his best side today. I mean, he was really sweet.
Le-
I actually hope that he'd be a bit more cheeky.
Yeah, well, but you saw it at the beginning.
Anyway, no, it's all good, and a small blockage,
Yeah.
back in the lumbar region,
Yeah.
and a small one at the withers. But she said it could also be that they bit each other in the withers on the pasture or nibbled on each other or something like that.
Yeah, well, the one in the lumbar spine could come from the saddle if it was in the front area of the lumbar spine. Don't hit, please.
No, she actually knows that. We do that regularly after riding.
Ah, yes, you've always done that.
Yeah, either back over the croup or under the belly.
Yeah, Binette super, fine. But then it's really no wonder that he still runs so well despite everything that's going on. Because if you always do that, then you always
Get up. What do you mean? Regularly or frequently?
perfect. So, because that way you can really fix little things like that yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's very important. So what I wanted to check though was the mouth in front. It's nice when they've already run a bit, then they're relaxed anyway. That's why I always like to put the training first actually, at the very beginning. So there are no swellings here at all. Right, so we very often find that it's really tense and tight in this area here. Let's look at this side. Oh, yeah, they're in there, exactly. They're in there. It's biting you, right? Here you go. Oh, yummy, Mike. That's nice. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? They all like that so much, you know? It's all the nuck. Can I reach in there? No. You don't like that very much? Probably not, really. I wouldn't like having someone reaching in my mouth either. I'm being very careful. Good boy. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Was, 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 was. Yes, good boy. Oh, yes, 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 yes. It's all good. It's all good. He doesn't like the jaw joint, does he? Not that either. Was that a dental practitioner, a vet, an equine dentist?
Or a vet who specialized in dental practice?
Okay, so everything's quite smooth here in the font. I think it's almost too short. We see it quite often that the teeth in the front are nice and round, but the higher it goes, up to here is the last tooth. And it's often the case that you need special tools for that. If you don't have the tool, for example, then you always bump up against this tooth, but you can't really get on top of it.
Okay.
And that often causes jaw joint problems because, of course, the pole and the jaw joint then get stressed because it's much higher. I can't look inside. I can only ever suspect it when horses react with pain to pressure on the jaw joint and pull away.
Then?
Right. And then you just have to imagine that it's really a bit like a migraine pain then, basically, right? When you're always clenching your teeth together. I'll do it, Gab. Well, there he pulls away. It's not just a coincidence here. There I am. There too. I'm sorry, buddy. He's also very straight in the musculature in the back. He has no difference in the croup. He's evenly high.
Okay, sure.
The shoulders are even too. I already checked that earlier. The shoulder blades too. The top edges of the shoulder blades are also even. So I wouldn't say he has signs of being crooked or that he's slumping to one side because of it. The hooves are also evenly sized. There's not really any major rotation or misalignment in there.
That's already worth a lot.
For a start, yes, I really think he's a young horse. And if you say you bought him 2 years ago and he was stiff then that means he actually already picked up something wrong. He's a fancy horse now with a fancy conformation with good movement. It's always the question, was he ever prepared for something? You know, for something higher, for an auction or for competitive sports or something like that. And then, of course, at 6 years old, they already have to be able to do quite a bit. What? And that's often where the training scale gets lost a little bit, or things are sometimes put together in a different order.
Yeah, so we're pretty sure about that. He basically went straight from the breeder to the previous owners. And as far as we know, they wanted to take him to a show. And just to check again, if there's something in his back that's blocking it. And what, because I always find it difficult to ride through it if you don't know if there's something there or not, right?
Well, so what would block him during the positioning? And if he were to brace himself, is the saddle.
Yeah, okay.
Because you saw it yourself, it's crooked.
Yeah.
On top of him, and it's right back there where he needs to move during positioning and bending. And it doesn't work there because that's the main pressure point, from what I can feel.
Yeah.
Right? And so I just wouldn't use it then. I think we have Peter Eilers in some of the links. He's the dental practitioner. He also travels further away. I know that. The limbs don't have starting teeth that it really goes all the way to the top. Yes, Finer Franz is a very fine horse. He handled everything really well. Very relaxed. And even during the osteopathic check, not much came up. It was really just very minor things. Really good. Also in terms of musculature, everything very consistent. Yes. What I was ultimately able to conclude is that it's really more of a riding instability, meaning that the guidance between the legs and the handling of the reins was simply very inconsistent. And that's why this horse keeps looking for a new contact, swaying again somehow, drifting somewhere, and then just not getting the necessary support to really run his track cleanly. And he actually came because of rearing and bucking. And when you really want to drive him forward, he actually shows that rearing and that bucking. And that wasn't the case at all here in the rider training, simply because I did the familiar exercise again. First, take away the outside rein. Only give light impulses on the inside, so there isn't that much confrontation. And Franz took that really well. And I think that's something we can build them, just putting them on the lunge, doing seat training to simply get more tension and better body awareness. And I think that was received very positively. And the two of them will do that. Yes, and now there was this big wish to maybe go over the cross trail with Franz one more time. Yes, and that's exactly what they're doing.